Hey guys, this is Brian. Today we're going to talk in qCraft a little bit about entangled blocks as we fly past the SS Schrödinger here. Entanglement in quantum mechanics is a pretty neat concept. It's the notion that certain particles have a special relationship to each other. Their states are correlated no matter where in the world they are. In quantum mechanics, this typically occurs with that correlation being that the particles in the most common examples are in opposite states. One will have something called clockwise spin and the other will have something called counterclockwise spin. We've implemented that a little bit differently in qCraft to make the gameplay a bit more interesting. Our entangled blocks will have the same state. So to make entangled blocks, you're going to start by crafting an observer-dependent block or a quantum block, and you can look at the other tutorials for information on how to do that. But basically in both cases, that involves putting either essence of observation, as I've just done, or essence of superposition into the crafting grid and positioning other regular Minecraft blocks around them to create a block that exhibits the properties of the blocks you've used to create it, depending on how you observe it. So we'll start by assuming you've got a block like that. I happen to have one in my inventory already. The other item you need to make this work is what's called essence of entanglement. Essence of entanglement, like the other essences, is made of quantum dust, but it requires a special ingredient, which would be the essence of superposition. So I'll go ahead and actually make one of those so I have it. Got to remember my crafting recipes. There it is. And the essence of superposition, we'll just drop that back into the crafting grid, along with some more quantum dust, will yield essence of entanglement. Essence of entanglement then is used to entangle any quantum block or observer-dependent block. So if I take this quantum block I have in my inventory and drop it down, you'll see that that will yield 2 entangled quantum blocks. And the fun thing about this is I can take more of those and get even more in this same group. And every time I do this with a different starting block, I'll get a different group of entangled blocks. Now, that should be enough for demonstration purposes. Once I've got that, if I take these blocks and I place them in the world someplace, let's do that right here, I can place a whole bunch of them. And you see as I'm placing them, they're all resolving to the same thing. Now, if I look away and observe again, you'll see that they followed the crafting recipe of our quantum block, but they've all changed. So if any one member of this entangled set is observed, all of the other blocks in that set will resolve to the same state no matter where in the world they happen to be. One other neat trick that applies to all of these entangled blocks, quantum blocks, and observer-dependent blocks is, as you may have seen in some of the other videos, the blocks will take on the properties of the organic regular Minecraft blocks that were used to create them. So if I drop redstone, for example, into my crafting recipe along with some wool, and use that in the world, you'll see that when this block resolves to redstone, it actually will transmit a redstone signal. I've used that over here to showcase a bit of what the mod can do with what I like to call spooky action at a distance. So I've got this block that is wool right now. That's actually an entangled quantum block that will resolve to wool or redstone. And off there in the distance, you'll see my lighthouse, which is currently off. If I go stand over here and observe that block, at some point it's going to change to the right place here to redstone, and my lighthouse goes on. Now that's because the entangled counterparts of this block, and now it's off, are actually connected up to my lighting system in the lighthouse. And so when that resolves to redstone, the redstone signal is transmitted from the entangled blocks and the lighthouse goes on. And when it resolves to wool, see, still on, it goes off. And that's how you can create a remote control lighting system with quantum entanglement.